Hi everybody, and welcome once again to another edition of the Spartan Sports Report. Sam and I are happy to be joined tonight by the prettiest person on the bench at the basketball game at the Spartan Bowl, right Sam?
Absolutely.
This is Audrey Shaw. She's the athletic trainer. And Audrey, as athletic trainer, what do you do?
Well, first, thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful to be here on the show with you guys tonight. Obviously, as athletic trainer, like you said, I sit there on the bench with the athletes and the teams, and whenever we have an issue where an athlete gets hurt or has any type of issue or illness or anything like that, that's obviously I'm the first person that deals with that.
Okay. And what sports? You're always at the game.
I pretty much cover every sport, with the exception of, I guess, golf would probably be the only one. And even if they have some type of injury or something, they're welcome to come see me, and I do see those athletes at some times. But I cover all the home events, and then the away football games I also go to, and I try my best to go to any postseason action, so sectionals, and then if we hopefully go any further than that, I go to those as well.
Okay. Sam, we don't see her all that often on the floor, which is good.
Right. But
our kids, I think, are in pretty good shape.
Pretty good shape, but things happen. I did see her have to go out on the floor the other day, and it's not just our athletes. During a game, you also take care of the opposing team. And if they bring a trainer with them, you probably work in conjunction with them, correct?
Sure. Actually, so far this basketball season, I think I've gone out onto the floor more times for opposing players than I have for my own. Knock on wood, which is always a good thing. And like you said, we have really tough, competitive kids. So they try their best to power through whenever possible. For football games, since I travel with all athletic trainers through the state travel with their football teams on Friday night. And basically the reason we don't travel with other sports is because there's almost always a home event going on. I mean, there's very few days through the week where I don't have something. So if I were to travel with a team, there would be a home event that wasn't covered. But football, obviously, the only thing we have on Friday night is varsity football. So if there's an issue that goes down, we're very fortunate to be able to work together. And most instances, too, there'll be a team doc on the sidelines, or you'll see EMS at most places, too, for when we have those, spinal head injuries that are always scary. So, yeah, we absolutely do work together. And, when I, like you said, when I have an athlete that goes down and from another school, if I have worked with or know that trainer, I contact them, and, we kind of like follow up and communicate what we see.
And this past Saturday was an example of that. Greensburg was in town, and I remember during the JV game, a young lady went down. Just so happened, and thinking back now, her father was the head coach of the boys team. So I recognized him. He came out, you went out, and in a little bit she got up, and everything seemed to be okay.
Yeah. Somebody told me that he was a coach as well. But yeah, that was a nice shoulder injury that she had there. So hopefully she's doing okay.
I hope so. Yeah, we no matter who, we don't want to see anybody hurt.
Absolutely not.
Looking back at football, and football naturally is a contact sport, and one where there are more possibilities maybe for injury, but it's not just the physical of hitting someone or being injured in a collision, but also early in the season when it's hot, you can have heat injury also.
Sure. That's definitely something we deal with during two-a-days. Obviously, athletes are just getting started. You have a lot of freshmen that haven't really competed at a high school level before, and they'll go all day and not eat anything or, not drink any water. So that's definitely something we see during the first week is kids feeling like they're going to pass out, having heat-type related issues. So that's definitely something we stress at the beginning of the year during football, especially to freshmen.
What are some of the types of injuries you may see in the different sports, say like girls volleyball as opposed to girls basketball?
Sure. Across the board, obviously, ankles are one thing. I mean, there's a few exceptions, but ankle sprains are pretty common for athletes, girls and boys alike. Girls, especially volleyball and basketball, we see a lot of knee-type issues. If you're going to have an ACL, it's probably going to be a girl, and it's probably going to happen in volleyball, basketball, or soccer.
Probably going to be season-ending for that person, too.
Yes, unfortunately, yes. I was trying to think. You'll see back and shoulder stuff pretty frequently in a volleyball environment. Basketball, it's going to be a little bit more knee and ankle.
Mm-hmm. And like in soccer, probably some bruising from kicks.
Yep, we'll see that. I think my most eventful day so far since I've been here at Connersville was a men's soccer game, JV and varsity, and I had one was an opposing team and two were for my own. There was a broken leg, broken arm, broken hand, all in the same JV varsity doubleheader there. So soccer really keep you on your toes.
Mm-hmm.
What's your background, Audrey? What kind of training?
I have a bachelor's degree from Ball State in athletic training. So I went there for 4 years and had the opportunity to work with some local high schools through Ball State's education and as well as Ball State sports. After I graduated from Ball State, I went to IPFW in Fort Wayne, and I was a graduate assistant up there for the women's volleyball team and the women's track and field team. So I got a master's in leadership from IPFW, and then I left about a month early and commuted back for one class last year and spent the spring season at Franklin County. And then I transitioned to Connersville over the summer.
Is it cooperation with Fayette Regional that you're assigned?
I am employed through Fayette Regional Health Systems, and they provide me the opportunity to work with the Connersville athletes. So they sourced me out to Connersville High School.
Okay. Friday night there was a ball game in Connersville. You guys remember, I suppose.
Pretty exciting.
It was a great game, Sam.
It was.
It's a rivalry. You can throw all the past records out the door when rivals get together, and
it sure can. And it's one of those teams that one of the teams that we love to hate. That we like the people from Rushville, but it's always a lot of fun when we play. And Coach Brown told me after the game and again Saturday that he felt like he had to win that game twice, or the team did the other night, because thought they had it won in regulation.
Yes,
and
like it.
But Rushville got hot, and they had some nice players. They really did. And but it was everything you could have expected in a Spartan Lion battle.
Are you, Audrey, in on the conversations when the coach calls a timeout or anything?
I don't really go over to the conversations on the bench when we call a timeout. Obviously, during practice and during pregame stuff like that, I hear the talks that they have, and the boys were really excited to play on Friday night. And I think everybody was really riled up for that game, and it really transitioned when you saw that we got the victory at the end there.
Oh, it was a great win. I mean, the overtime and everything, but the kids really showed this is a good team, I think.
And it was an important win because it was the first conference game, Eastern Indiana Athletic Conference game for the Spartans, and 1-0 now in that conference. So very important to get off to a good start.
We have some video from the game, so let's watch that right now.
Here's Phillips up court for St. Chester, 24. Out to Silcott, fires three.
Early in the game.
Shot by Garrett.
That's fine, because you get a lot of guys that can get the rebound. So Garrett, wow.
Garrett Silcott drives right around the defense of Rushville and
back and forth.
goes in for a layup.
Went around Suns. I mean, right there, Garrett. I mean,
Rushville, a lot of height.
shots. He can't get inside really.
You're actually at a point
Yeah, there you go.
You don't see that in the point guard very often. And
Tyler right there, you know, he looked at the
Garrett
crowd.
Sons, they're big man. He likes to play on perimeter, and he could really knock down the threes.
I could hit five. They had 5 threes, and he had all 3 of them, or all 5 of them.
But our guys did a pretty nice job from beyond the arc, and great inside-outside game. I think the Grant Smith's slam dunk kind of woke the crowd up.
Yes.
That's what it was right there.
That was about midway in the fourth period, I believe, when that occurred.
You definitely could feel the momentum change when he dunked that ball, that's for sure.
That's always a lot of fun, and you know, at the high school level, you don't see kids being able to dunk that often.
Or do they risk injury when they do that?
You never know. It does happen sometimes.
Sure.
Going inside all night. He saw a little bit of opening right there. Took the extra step and boom,
And
he
then
got it. Got
Silcock
it
did a nice job of going in and laying it off the glass. And, you know, it counts 2 points either way.
And Garrett was guarding the big guy.
Oh, yeah.
See, he's 6 feet, I believe, and the Suns are 6'6". He looked taller than that
He
to
looked
me.
tall. I think that the heights were a little underestimated there.
I think so
on
too.
the roster. But that's all right. I mean, the Spartans were a little shorter, but able to hang in there tough and take it to overtime and beat their rivals.
That was an important victory. I know before the ball game, as you mentioned, Coach Brown said, we have to win this ball game. That's all there is to it because it's the open of the conference. They're the one team that kept us from getting a championship last year because they were the only loss the Spartans had in the conference. So it was an important ball game.
And then Rushville likes it also when they play Connersville because Coach Kerry Brown used to coach over there.
I know.
And he left, so a little added incentive, I think,
Sure.
from our friends in Rush County.
We're in the overtime period right now.
And there's the freshman, Noah Belt, and we talked about ice water in that young man's veins, stepping up and knocking down that three, and,
that was
and hit a
very
couple pressure-packed free throws late, too.
Important three. It was a great game of Rushville and the Spartans pulled it out in overtime. Saturday night, Shelbyville came to town. I think they thought they were going to win a ball game because they had beaten Columbus North the night before, and they had a little pressure in the early going, caused the Spartans some trouble, but once we got straightened out, it wasn't any.
Yeah, it was all Connersville, and if my numbers are correct, we ended up hitting 48 of 55 free throws.
87% from the free throw line. Boy, they got a lot of free throw practice that
yeah,
night.
they did, and I'm waiting for somebody to tell me what the record of number of free throws hit at Spartan Bowl
That's
are by a
unreal.
Spartan team. This has to have been close to a record. There were some people on social media that didn't see the game that were questioning all the fouls called against Shelbyville. But I understand one of the officials told the Shelbyville bench that he had nowhere to go and that if he had to call 100 of them, he would call 100 of them.
Really?
Because the new rule is you can't use your hands, you can't use your forearms to guard. You can use your feet. And they were calling the hand checks.
Yeah, they were just coming fast and furious. I mean, it's I've never seen a game like that with 55 free throw attempts.
No, I hadn't either, and that second half drug on. But you know, the outcome was inevitable. There, the Spartans were hitting them.
Well, they had a big lead.
Built a 33-point lead over Shelbyville. Shelbyville, as you mentioned, had a big night the night before.
Yes.
They came in with a perfect record. Had played Columbus North. Columbus North and Shelbyville, my understanding, I have some friends from over there that, and what I hear, that rivalry is much like the Connersville-Richmond rivalry.
Okay.
That Shelbyville always looks forward to beating Columbus North. That's one that they circle. So they'd beaten them the night before. Obviously a good team, and the Spartans showed that they were equally a good team on Saturday night.
I don't think they expected the Spartans to be that good when they came to town. I really don't.
I don't think so either. I thought it was certainly a game that Connersville could win. But I thought it would be, you know, in the 5 to 10 point.
Yeah, a
either way.
33-point
Either team
win. 83-50 was the final, wasn't it?
Yes.
And that was a great display of our offensive power, I thought. I mean, we don't score 83 points all that often. That's not.
No, we don't.
That's not Kerry Brown's type of basketball.
But shot pretty good percentage also.
Yes.
On the night from the field as well, and Coach Brown able to use his bench quite a bit also.
Yeah,
which is
eight
good.
kids scored. Smith had 23. Grant had 23.
And Bo Isaacs, I think, maybe had
six. Bo had 18.
18.
Right. Billups had 10. Silcott had 16. You don't usually see a point guard score that many points. And Belt had 4. Hoffman had 5. Westmith had 1. So as you pointed out, the bench got to play quite a bit.
Bo Isaac's doing a great job on the boards.
Yes, he is.
He is.
Yes, he is. His rebounding.
Both nights. And his rebounding and his put-back shots, you know, three-pointer would go up, and he'd be right there for the rebound and put it back in when it wouldn't fall on its own.
Yeah, the kids are good. I mean, they're playing good basketball. And this week they have one ball game, go to Pendleton on Saturday night. That should be a good ball game.
Usually is. Tough place to play. Nice facility, a little smaller, but nice folks up there at Pendleton. And
I think it's about half as big as Connorsville. The gym, they seat about 2,500, I think, something like that. But be a good game to win. I'm sure they're looking forward to it because we took them out in the sectional, I believe, last year. So they're sort
of. And that wins over them have been few.
Few far between.
So that was a big win for the Spartans last year in the sectional.
Right.
A team we could very well face again in the sectional this year.
Section 4A class sectional, right.
And we got a little girls basketball coming up this week too, Fran.
The Lady Spartans are 2-7. They went over Union County last week, lost to Greensburg last week though, and as you say, they'll be playing this Saturday.
Wednesday, travel to Newcastle.
Okay, and Saturday.
And then Saturday at Lawrenceburg, Saturday evening.
So
they had a nice game, I thought, on Saturday against Greensburg. Tied going into the fourth quarter. Greensburg able to hit the free throws and salt that one away, but much improved. And Audrey, when you say so, that we're seeing steady improvement in those girls?
Absolutely. And Greensburg's a quality team. They beat East Central earlier in the year and it only had one loss going into that game. So for those girls to go out there and compete against Greensburg on Saturday, I think was really a big confidence booster for them because, like you said, at the end of the game there, a few things would have went differently and we could have very well won that game. So we look forward to better things moving forward out of them.
Did you play sports? Back to you. You know a lot about sports. Were you a player?
I did play basketball. That was the only sport I did, just because I started when I was very young and I played year-round.
And where did you go to school?
I went to Yorktown High School, which is just outside of Muncie there. So
you kind of like girls basketball then? And,
I do.
And, being with the kids?
I do.
And the guys too.
I was born and raised here in Indiana, so I have to say that basketball is definitely my favorite time of year. So, yeah.
That's cool.
What position did you play?
I played a little bit of everything, but for the most part, I played guard.
Okay.
In high school, yeah.
Good deal. What years were those?
I graduated in 2009.
Good deal.
Not all that long ago.
Yeah, not too long ago.
I remember, I can't remember if it was boys or girls, but we were up there doing a game with Yorktown. I think it might have been a boys game. Probably a couple times. And nice facility, nice school.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
They have a nice shooting gym there.
And just out on the outskirts, you still got to enjoy the big city then.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
We might review what happened in the area. Union County, they're 1-2 on the season. They lost to Seton Catholic, and they won over Nicetown last week. Richmond is 1-2. They lost to Indianapolis North Central. They won over Indianapolis Marshall. They'll be on our schedule on the 19th, a week from Saturday. Richmond will be coming to Connorsville.
Always look forward to that.
I know. I think the fans will be anxious to see that ball game. Centerville is 0-4. They're having their struggles at Centerville. They lost to Northeastern and to Franklin County last week. Cambridge City is 2-2. They lost to Hagerstown in their only game last week. Franklin County is 2-0. They won over Centerville, their one game last week. And then Rushville, of course, is 0-2. They lost to the Spartans in their ball game last week. So some of the area teams, I'm a little surprised at some of them.
Yeah, a little bit, and a late one in there too. Rushville played again on Saturday night, and they lost.
Did they?
I believe by 1 to New Palestine.
Okay.
They had a shot at the buzzer to win it, and didn't. So
that was their first home game, I believe. They were on the road for the first two here, and
0-3 now are the Lions.
I'm a little surprised with their height.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
but I think they're going to win a lot of games.
oh, I agree. I think they will be. They'll be a force to contend with here. They'll be in the 3A section of the. So as you pointed out earlier, we won't be meeting them again because of the sectional class right now and everything. As we mentioned, the Spartans play Pendleton Saturday. Pendleton Heights is 2-2. They have wins over Westfield and Anderson. No, they've lost to Westfield and Anderson, and they beat LaPel and Hamilton Southeastern.
They play a pretty tough schedule.
Yes.
Metro Indy schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And
near Indianapolis
so,
and everything.
Connersville certainly can't take them lightly, especially on their floor. And our kids have to be careful and not read too much press about themselves and
That's right.
Take it one game at a time.
Since the Spartans don't play on Friday night, I wonder if they will scout Pendleton.
I would imagine they would. Yeah, they do have. Pendleton does have a game.
Right, they have a game at I forget just where it's at, but it's I think it's,
Mount Vernon.
okay.
They play Mount Vernon, which,
that's right,
which
Mount
is a
Portville.
conference game for them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so maybe they'll use all their energy on Friday night. Yeah, no games at the bowl this week, but
Yeah, it's really unusual, isn't it?
Dave and I will be in Newcastle, and people can, if they can't make the drive up there on Wednesday night.
That's with the girls.
With the girls, so tune in to KMix 106.9. And then on Saturday night, we're going to travel with the boys. Both the boys and the girls are on the road and they play at the same time. Normally, in the past, what we've done is we follow the road team because people can come and see the players at the bowl. Well, it's just kind of a toss of a coin here, and we're going to go to Pendleton. The girls will be down at Lawrenceburg. So just the way it is, I hope that sometime in the future we can get schedules straightened out where we don't have games, both boys and girls playing at the same time. And, you know, it's better for the fans. If they can do that, but I know that Brent Duncan has quite a challenge just getting everything scheduled.
Yes, he does, really. And
he does a nice job with it.
Absolutely. The Title IX, though, is sort of forcing schools to schedule girls' games in prime time. So that's
And that's
something
okay.
get to. Sure.
That's
sure,
okay.
Sure.
I enjoy watching the girls just as much as watching the boys play. But, it's still basketball, and it's a different style of basketball. It's below the rim, but for the most part, although I do remember back several years ago, there was a young lady, I forget her name, we used to play Brebeuf Jesuit, and she could dunk it, and she did dunk it on us, yes. So, that's
something you don't see all that often.
No, it's not. But there are those girls that are 6'4", 6'5", that can really elevate. You ever dunk the ball?
Absolutely not. Not even close. Not even on my best day.
What was your best game and point total and things like that? Can you remember?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
I was definitely a middle of the road player, so it wasn't anything fantastic. I can tell you that much.
We used to, and I tell this story that several years ago we had a minister at our church that always talked about playing basketball when he was young. Said he was a 20-point man, that he got to play when they were 20 points up, and he got to play when they were 20 points down.
So it's whatever way you interpret it, huh?
Exactly.
Freshman basketball this week, they have a game Tuesday night with Newcastle here. They will play Cambridge City Lincoln on Thursday night, and the boys freshmen will be going to Pendleton Heights on Saturday. In varsity wrestling, on Wednesday, South Dearborn will be the opponent, and Saturday they'll be taking part in the Super 5. I'm not sure what that is. Do you go to the wrestling?
I go to the home events. I don't go to the away events. I think they have a Super 5 is when they have 5 teams and they're able to get that all done in one day.
And I'm not sure where it's at. It's away, I know, because they don't have many home meets in wrestling this year.
Yeah, no, we really don't. Obviously, the Spartan Classic takes up 2 complete days. And that's a big challenge. But other than that, they're kind of few and far between as far as the home coverage for wrestling.
Right.
You probably really earn your money on those 2 days.
Yeah, I have never watched that much wrestling before, so it should be an experience. I was telling Mr. Duncan the other day, I was like, honestly, I don't really understand wrestling, the rules and stuff, but after those 2 days, I imagine I'll have a much better grasp on it.
Well, it's not like Hulk Hogan where they break a chair over somebody's head, so you don't have to worry about that.
That's true.
Yeah, it's quite different, I think, from pro. Richmond and the swimming teams will be in action at the CHS pool Tuesday night and Thursday night. Center will be coming. Swim team, I think, undefeated so far.
That's great.
So they're doing real well. So we mentioned the boys varsity and JV team will be at Pendleton Heights, and the girls Newcastle on Wednesday, as you said, and Lawrenceburg on Saturday. So that's the schedule of CHS sports this week. A lot of activity going on.
The girls get to try out the new gymnasium at Lawrenceburg. Last year they played at the middle school. We didn't go down there for that. Lawrenceburg had come here, but they built them a brand new gymnasium.
Yeah, that surprised me a little bit.
Well, the old one, in fact, we did the last game in the old gymnasium down there, and it was sinking. The foundation was giving way, and so they tore it down and built a new one back in its place, and did a lot of other things to the school, and I think upgraded the football field. Just across the road and down a little bit, they have a big revenue maker there in Lawrenceburg that some of those profits are shared with the schools. So
that's great.
They're putting that money to good use and building nice facilities.
Absolutely, that's good to know. But yeah, I'm sure the girls are looking forward to that. And then they have their Rumble on the River. They're coming up between the holidays.
Yeah, they go down to Hanover, Indiana, and I've been down there for that, and that's a lot of fun. A lot of basketball in a short period of time, in a couple days' time.
Yes,
but,
I know.
I think the girls, talking to Coach Thompson, they have to go down on Sunday night because they play the first game on Monday morning.
Oh,
which,
gee.
is a little bit of a challenge for them traveling that far, but they'll do it. And in the meantime, they got some other games. I know that we have a boy-girl doubleheader the Tuesday before Christmas at Spartan Bowl with Greenfield Central.
Good deal. And, yeah. That's on the 22nd, I believe, of this month. So looking forward to that. What's the worst injury you've ever seen any place?
That's a good question. I think the worst thing I've seen is my freshman year at Ball State. I was working with Ball State Gymnastics, and I worked during their season, so it was like over Christmas time, and I spent several months working with them, and during that short time I had 2 Achilles ruptures, and that's obviously not something gruesome to see happen, but it definitely was interesting because when you rupture your Achilles, it balls up all the way into your calf, and it's an excruciating injury to have. Fortunately, I've never seen a compound fracture where it's sticking out of the skin or anything gruesome like that.
Good.
So
But
knock
you're
on
prepared
wood.
if you do.
Absolutely. And I would think it was cool, let's be honest. I would slightly enjoy it, but obviously we never want our kids to get hurt, and I never want to see an athlete go through that. But I'm sure it's inevitable eventually.
Yes.
So when you're not doing this, when sports aren't, what do you do work-wise? I mean, like with the hospital, do you have other duties?
I don't. Fortunately, Fayette allows me to solely be outsourced to the high school. So basically, I work with the athletes.
Great job.
All afternoon. Yeah. It is. It's really great. I'm really grateful to be here and be able to work with Connersville Athletics.
We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Athletic Director Audrey Shaw's been our guest tonight, and we really appreciate you stopping by, Audrey, and keep up the good work and keep our kids in good shape.
Thank you very much. I'll try my best.
Sam, always good to see you.
Well, likewise, and I'll miss seeing you this week, but we'll get back together next week.
Right. Another Spartan Sports Report. Thanks for watching, everybody, and good evening from TV3.